Hey folks, thank you so much for joining this session to learn about all the ways we've been working to make QuickBase's user experience more intuitive and easier to use. We've done quite a bit this past year, and we have even more improvements in flight, so we're excited to share some of that with you all today. Before we get into the meat of our session today, this is our normal safe harbor slide. Basically just means that everything we share is our plan today, but this is all subject to change and may not be exactly what you see eventually implemented in product. All right, here is our agenda for this session. First, we'll go through a little overview of the goals of the work. Then we have 4 areas of feature enhancements that we'll review. I will kick it off with new navigation. Bogey will tell you about our latest dashboard enhancements, Maria about email, and Chrissy about new forms. So without further ado, let's get into it. And if you have any questions, we will be answering them live at the end, so feel free to drop them in the chat. All right. So our goal at the highest level with this body of work is to make using QuickBase more delightful. The benefit of an intuitive user experience can sometimes be difficult to put into words, but when something isn't intuitive, you feel it immediately. We're going to dig into each of these feature areas that I outlined to show you what you can expect to see in each, and we're going to start with new nav. To start, I want to talk about why we chose to pursue this. New navigation is a project that we started research on in early 2023. And in the course of that research, we've spoken with hundreds of people, both folks that use QuickBase and folks that don't. And we often heard that seeing QuickBase for the first time, our user interface can seem a little dated or clunky. And that might seem like a small thing, but it can actually have some big impacts. For QuickBase, it means that folks might see that dated exterior and write us off as a platform that isn't modern and can't solve their problem without looking any deeper at all the powerful capabilities the platform has. And for you all, our builders, we heard that it can hamper end user adoption as you try to get folks on board with a new solution that you've built, and that it can be confusing for new users to find their way around, both of which are the opposite of what we want. So the solution. We've reimagined the experience to provide sleek, modern navigation that gives you more space to work and streamlines getting around QuickBase. One click down from that, I want to get into the specific goals for the project as well. Our first goal is to modernize the look and feel of the platform. I've alluded to this kind of a bunch already. We want to make it easier to fall in love with QuickBase and make sure that our UI is accurately representing all of the powerful capabilities we have in the platform. Next, we want to improve feature discoverability and reduce clicks. We heard in our research that it can be difficult for new builders to find their way around to the most important features in the platform. And even for existing experienced builders, getting to those critical features can kind of be a pain in the butt. So we want to make them easier to find initially and easier to get to every day. Last, we want to provide consistency. We have no less than 3 different navigation experiences in the platform today. One in QuickBase Apps proper, one in pipelines, and one in QuickBase pages that are outside of applications. That can all contribute to a feeling that these are not part of the same platform, and we want to change that with this project. We want to make sure that we're providing a unified experience that is consistent across all domains. And with that, I'm going to move into the demo to show you what this will look like. I'm going to do a little before and after here. So first, here is current QuickBase. You've got your global bar up top, followed by your app bar, which shows me all of the recently accessed apps that I have across the top there, then followed by your table bar, which of course shows me all the tables I have in this app. Then finally, I get to the content that I care about on this screen, which in this case is my table report. This is one of the main complaints that we hear from users today, that we take up basically the top third of your screen real estate with just our navigation. So now I'm going to switch to the new view to show you what the same content will look like. All right, so this is our new view. First thing you'll notice is that we've reduced the space taken up at the top of your screen by about half. We've gone from 4 bars up top down to just 2. Then you can see we've taken all that content that was across the top of your screen and we've moved it into this sidebar on the left. You can see we've still got app home, users and settings links, followed by all of your tables down below. These will translate directly one-to-one. Your table order, permissions, visibility, icons, all of that is going to be directly translated one-to-one. What you see in the top of your apps today is what you'll see on the left. Then if you care about screen space, I've got some more good news for you. Once you get to where you're going, say I need to navigate into this record, take a look at the form, I can actually go ahead and close this sidebar to really maximize my horizontal screen space as well and really focus on the data that I'm working with. This also feels like a good time to highlight that there are a variety of cool ways you can interact with the sidebar depending on what suits your style. If you want to keep it open, you can use that same pinned open interaction that I showed earlier. This way, the sidebar will stay open automatically as you navigate across pages. Or if you want the sidebar to close automatically as you navigate, you can also do that. That way, I can just leverage this hover interaction. So if I just hover over anywhere that's not the actual arrow on the sidebar, it will pop open and I can navigate where I need to go, and the sidebar will automatically close for me once I get there. One more cool thing with the sidebar, and this genuinely might be my favorite feature of new nav, we've also made it easier to access your table settings. So if I just pop this back open here, if I hover over this 3-dot menu in line with each table name, I will then see a pop-up of each of the table settings pages for that table. That allows me directly to wherever I need to go without stopping off at the overview page. That saves you a click, saves you a page load, and ultimately saves you time. We have also made it easier to get to key locations outside of your apps as well. If I navigate into this menu in the upper left, this is called your global nav menu or your waffle menu. On the left-hand side here, you can see that we've centralized access to key builder and admin locations. These previously were spread out and buried across different pages in QuickBase, but we've gathered them all together here to make them easy to find. On the right-hand side of this menu, you can see we've also provided you access to your recently accessed applications. Instead of keeping them all across the top of your screen, always visible, we put them in this menu so that you still maintain that easy access, but we're not constantly taking your screen real estate. Then I'm sure you're wondering by this point when you can access this and how you can access this. Well, I have some great news. Today is the first day we are beginning our open beta for new navigation, which means it's now available for everyone to try. To try it out, simply navigate to the user menu in the upper right-hand corner. Then you're going to click on My Preferences, and you'll see a new preference at the top for navigation. You want to then just go ahead and choose Sidebar Navigation and press Save. That will enable new navigation for you across all apps you access. This is also how you can switch back to legacy navigation should you ever have a reason. With this launch, we are also providing account admins with an additional level of control. One thing we learned from other similar launches in the past is that account admins wanted a way to control if their users saw the option to try the new experience or not. This account level option will live in the admin console on the permissions page and will look like the screenshot you see here. If this is turned off, the user level option I just demoed will simply disappear. During open beta, this account option is going to default on, which means users will see the option to try new nav, but their default experience will still be legacy nav. So we aren't switching the experience for anyone before they explicitly make the choice. And again, if account admins want to hide the user option to try new nav, they can go ahead and flip this account level setting off. Next, I want to talk about release timelines. We are here today at the beginning of our open beta launch, where new nav is available for everyone to try, but defaulted off, as I mentioned a couple times. But in the coming months, in July, we will be defaulting to on with our GA rollout. Again, that's where nav will become the default experience, but the option to switch back to legacy nav is still going to be available. Then in about 6-ish months, in Q1 of next year, we'll be removing the option to move back to legacy nav, and we'll be proceeding with new nav as the only experience available. We know this is a big visual change, and it will take some time to get used to. So we want to provide this window to allow users to acclimate and get used to the new experience in their own time. And that is new nav. Again, it's available today. Just go to the user menu in the upper right and into My Preferences, select Sidebar Navigation to try things out. And we have the key features that we reviewed here listed as well. We moved the top bar into the left into a sidebar. Then there are a variety of sidebar interactions you can take advantage of to suit your style. And we can't forget about the global nav menu accessed in the upper left, which provides access to recent apps and key admin and builder locations. And with that, I will pass things over to Bogi to tell you all about some of our exciting dashboard enhancements.
Thank you, Alice. Circling back to what you said at the start of our session, we have been focused on making our user experience more intuitive and straightforward across several key areas. And I wanted to highlight the strides we've made in enhancing our dashboards. We recognize the need to empower builders with greater flexibility and simplicity when crafting their dashboards. Firstly, we've made our dashboards infinitely scrollable, providing more space to showcase your data and reports. And we also rolled out a fluid widget reordering to ensure a smoother and more intuitive experience when arranging your key data points on the dashboard. Last, but certainly not least, in April, we released a suite of tools designed to help you create cleaner, more stylish dashboards that truly stand out. Now, let's shift gears and take a closer look at the enhancements in action. So I have the dashboard that you all know and are familiar with. When I scroll, this is the number of reports that I have on it, and I have one task. I want to move my timeline report up. So let's see if that will do the work. Nope, it seems that it doesn't do the trick. What I will need to do is I will need to make changes to all the widgets right here in order to make room for that timeline report to move to the top. Let me switch screens again and show you the dashboard, the same dashboard with our enhancements. So as you can see, I have the same reports, though I do have buttons that look very nice. They are truly buttons, rounded. I can continue to scroll where you can see that I have additional reports, and it's so many more reports. The good news is that I can continue adding more reports. Let me now actually go back and let me show you how much easier it is for me to make the change I wanted to make on the previous dashboard, meaning I want to move the timeline report to be at the top of the page. Voila, here it is. It's that easy. You will also see that if you make widgets smaller or bigger, they will continue to push other widgets on the page, making room for themselves. And I'm pretty sure that you've also noticed that there is a very nice, delightful divider right here, which means that you have this option from the Add Widget menu. It's called the Spacer widget. It's a new widget type that we're introducing, and that is one of the multiple improvements that we are releasing to help you have a cleaner dashboard. So you can continue to add many reports. And you can use the spacer widget to add a little bit of space in between the widgets, or you can use the spacer widget as a divider. We've kept the number of widgets per tab for optimized experience and to minimize visual clutter on the screen. And we've made a ton of other improvements. You can see that the tabs are on the top, and further out, you can drag them to reorder them. We are now allowing you to update your filter titles inline. So if you want to try all of these improvements, going back to my previous screen, we're giving you a very quick way that you can test them out with the Try Upgraded Dashboards button. So if I click here, I'm going to be redirected into an interactive preview mode, where it's basically your playground to test those improvements. Your changes during the preview are not going to be saved. But there is the button here at the bottom of the screen that says Upgrade Dashboard, which is going to take all of the reports in all of the tabs that you already have, and it's going to convert them nicely into the dashboard that has all of those improvements. So before I wrap up and pass the ball over to Maria, let me just remind you that we are here. So if you have any questions, make sure to add them in the chat.
Thank you, Bogi, and hello all. I'm going to talk about our new enhanced email service. So in today's dynamic work environment, efficient communication and workflow automation are essentials. Our solution offers a comprehensive enhancement to the email notification services which we are providing today, addressing all the limitations of the existing offering while driving workflow efficiency. Emails in QuickBase tend to serve to streamline workflow processes, such as alerting a colleague when they have a new assigned task. The new email service also facilitates this by making it easier to build email and offers more customization options, ultimately driving productivity. By consolidating the triggered and scheduled emails, users can streamline their communication processes, saving time and increasing efficiency. With the new customization options and compatibility with our latest features like dashboards and new forms, users have greater control over their notifications and they can stay updated on important information. Also, with the improved handling of multi-record operations, we are further enhancing collaboration and workflow management. So let's explore some of the new capabilities that we have. I'll go over this slide very briefly because we are going to dive in right into the demo afterwards, where I'll talk a lot more about the capabilities themselves. So the new ones are, you are now able to choose your email triggers. You can send an email based on a data update, or it can be scheduled. We also have new bulk change email options. We have added some permissioning and data access, of course. And like I said previously, you can schedule your emails. But without further ado, let's go right into the demo so you can see the new email experience. We are currently in one of our apps, and in order to access the new email service, we have to follow the same steps as we would do with our current notification system. But for new users, it's the following. Once you are in the app, you click on the table that you would like to access and add a new email to you. Then you go to your settings and you click notifications, subscriptions, and reminders. So you will be taken to a different screen, and on the top right side, you will see new email. When you click on it, the new email service is going to appear on the top, and it's basically build your own custom email. So let's go ahead and click on create. So we are taken to the new screen. So in order to understand what are the capabilities, we're going to start over with some of our sent options. So first, you have the option to select your email triggers. You can decide whether to select emails based on data updates or on scheduled basis. If you select sending email on data update, you can trigger emails based on record events like added, modified, or deleted. And you also have the possibility to add an additional criteria if you want. Or, of course, you can schedule a message, which is going to give you set up your emails to be sent daily, weekly, monthly, and customize them to your preferences and UTS standards. If we go back to criteria, you also have the option to bulk change emails. So what does that mean? QuickBase offers email notification options for bulk changes, including imports, API calls, and grid edits. Users can choose to receive whether a summary of all changes with details depending on the number of changes, which is up to 100, individual emails for each bulk change with a limit of 10 emails, or they can select no email notification for bulk changes made through imports, API calls, or grid edits, so your mailbox doesn't get flooded by all the changes being made. You also have the permissions and data access, where you can customize the recipient permissions when sending data in emails, and you can decide whether to check the recipient permissions or to ignore them. But let's go directly to the new email editor experience. So what you see now on the screen is the new email editor experience, which is far easier to use and far more modern. No more struggling with outdated tools. Our new drop-down menu gives you access to a range of powerful features, including the ability to add elements and fields just with one simple click. You can select all of the recipients you want. You also have the option to add CC or BCC, which is a brand new capability that is currently available for business and enterprise accounts. And you can actually access it from and enable it from your policies in the admin console. So let's see how this works really quickly. I will now show you how to add elements and send an email to your record owner about the project status change. You can easily add fields and project statuses and also copy of the form. You now see a simple text, and I also want to add an element, which is the record owner. So I will search for my record owner, and I'll add a new field here. And I also want to add the status of my project. So I'll go ahead and search for a status, and I'll add it here. And I also want to add the project itself. So let's just go ahead and add the form. And from there, I will just select the form where my project is. With those simple steps, you can now go ahead and save your email notification, and you will see it on your notifications, subscriptions, and reminders. With this change, whether you are updating a project status or sending out important announcements, our email editor would empower you to communicate effectively and efficiently. You are going to experience the future of email editing with our new email editor experience, which is going to simplify your workflow, elevate your communication, and help you and your account stay ahead of the curve. So let's go back to the presentation where we are going to summarize some of the key takeaways. So like I previously mentioned, to access the new email service, you should go to notifications, subscriptions, and reminders and select new email, build your own, which is going to take you directly to the new email experience. We have also enhanced the user experience by eliminating current constraints and modernizing the functionality. Some of our key features include consolidating triggered and scheduled emails into one, helping streamline email notifications for greater efficiency. We have enhanced customization options, empowering users to tailor notifications based on their specific needs. And the most important one is now that with the new email service, we are now compatible with our new forms and reports, which are seamlessly integrating our latest features for an enhanced user experience. And with that, we're ending the presentation for the new email service. And I will pass the mic to Chrissy. She's going to talk about our new forms. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, and we'll be more than happy to answer them at the end of this presentation.
Thank you, Maria. Hello, everyone. My name is Chrissy, and I'm excited to be here and share some of the form enhancements we have done in the past couple of months, as well as sharing a sneak peek of what is coming next. Before that, let me go with a quick reminder about what the new form experience is. The new form experience went to GA during Empower last year. It offers a modern and intuitive designer that helps you to position form elements nicely, like you're playing a simple game. With this form designer, we aim to lower the barrier for entry for new builders so that it's quick and easy to start building with QuickBase. Additionally, the user experience while using the form is now modern and intuitive. The goal was to make it feel and look more delightful so that it's easy for builders to build apps that their end users will love. With that, let me tell you a little bit about the enhancements we have done in the past couple of months. I'll start with the builder enhancements. Those are related to the builder experience. Starting with embedding forms. We know many of our builders need to expose forms to their end users outside of the context of a QuickBase app. Back in September last year, we released this option. So while building a form, you can click on the share icon to do that. We improved the pattern here by allowing you to choose to direct users to a particular page after the record is submitted. So the options are to view the record, show confirmation message, redirect to a specific page, or submit another record. We also supplied sample code so you can quickly embed a form in QuickBase code page or in an external site. Up next, builders can now create and modify form rows in the form builder configuration panel. So this in-context editing of form rows makes it easier to make related changes. Additionally to this enhancement, back in October, we also introduced the option to change the value using a formula inside a form row. So you can now achieve more advanced logic in fewer steps. Instead of creating multiple form rows or adding specific fields just to be used in form rows, you can create a single formula to dynamically update values and use this formula in your form row. On the end user side, we also did quite a lot. So the first thing here is the option to duplicate records. This will save you time when you need to add big loads of data in your QuickBase application. Next up, you can control the density of your form using the spacing options. For each form, you can choose between 3 different modes. normal, condensed, and relaxed. The setting is set form by form, so you can control over how every form will appear to best fit your needs. And here's something I know many of you were waiting for: the ability to print new forms. This is now available since March. It allows you to seamlessly generate copies of your forms. The print version will represent exactly what you see on the screen. Last but not least, in April, we introduced the option to email form ad hoc. This will allow you to share data and keep your team updated. The email dialog allows you to specify recipients, subject, and custom message. You can also preview the email to make sure you're sending the right data. And now, let's see what is coming next. The new mobile form experience will be available later this year. This will give you a seamless transition between desktop and mobile devices for business users on the go without the need of building complex workarounds. With the new experience, we are covering key feature gaps in the mobile experience, such as displaying embedded reports directly in the form, structuring forms in tabs and steps, fully functional dynamic form rows, and many more. If you want to learn more, there is another session that deep dives into the mobile capabilities that you can watch. The session is called The Power Duo Fast Build and Quick Base Redefining Mobile Workflows. And now, the key takeaways. We covered some of the enhancements that we have done in the past couple of months for the new form experience. All of them were driven by your feedback that we really appreciate. We also shared a sneak peek of the new form experience available on mobile. Please stay tuned for more information about this in the upcoming months. With this, I'm happy to open the floor for any of your questions. Thank you.